Welcome to this edition of Straight Goods on Golf. I'm Brian Hann. Here we are at the beautiful 15th green at Cordova Bay Golf Course. Today I want to share a little bit with you on distance control with your putting. So in putting we have the royalty of distance control and directional control. Today we'll look at why people struggle with their distance control, and I got a couple of theories to roll out that could help you to become a better putter. Short again. If you're one of those people out there who find yourself leaving your putts short too often, you're in the majority. In fact, the last study I read on this was that on the initial putt from all varying distances on the putting green, we had a case study where 200 putts were measured and 5 out of 6 people were short of the flagstick on their first putt. So that tells us that there's some psychology involved, and we're going to have a quick look into why that might be the case. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you've ever seen that overreaction from someone on a putting green when their ball goes beyond the flagstick, it's often tied into the psychology of what happens as our ball goes to its final resting place. In other words, its final resting place on that very first putt, clearly about 8 feet or 10 feet short of the flagstick. On that one I just hit now, 8 or 10 feet beyond. But in the putt I just hit at the moment here, I had to watch the golf ball in its last travels going away from the ultimate target, which is the flagstick. So there's some psychology involved there where people often find, well, at least in my experience, people do find that there's some safety in watching the ball travel towards the target. So any putt that's going beyond somehow therefore has some level of danger involved to it. That's the psychology part of short versus long. So here's another target game that makes for a great analogy for golf. I've taken a couple of virtual golf balls and fired them at my dartboard, and you can see that they're both about an equal distance from the flagstick in the center, or the bullseye. In either case, we're not going to associate anything safe or dangerous about those outcomes. So here's where the real fun starts with this mental putting tool. Take the dartboard off the wall mentally and drop it onto the putting green, superimposing the bullseye right over the hole. And you'll find that if you supersize this scale to about 24 times, you've taken darts right to the putting green. With no association to danger in reference to the golf ball in the background, and no association to safety in reference to the golf ball in the foreground, our mind is free to instruct our body to putt with intent, eliminating trepidation associated with danger. Those of us who play golf, we all know that putting is in a large part confidence-based. So one thing we want to recognize, if we're going to build our confidence, then we have to release fear out of putting and recognize there's only one of two things that are going to happen to our putt. Either it's going to go in the hole or it isn't. And when we look at the two results that I've created today, short of the flagstick and beyond, if we recognize that both of those golf balls ended up roughly 8.5 feet from the target, we can't really recognize one as being better or worse than the other, therefore no more dangerous or more safe than the other. I hope you enjoyed this installment of Straight Goods on Golf. If you like the video, please give it the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.